is Tracy, and today I'm going to be doing a video which is a real talk, and I was actually inspired to do this last week when I was watching this magic video. And I have to say it was actually kind of interesting because I've kind of gone over like my story with coverage, but if you're new to my channel or you forgot, I used to watch magic coverage all the time, and then it got really boring for me. I just wasn't into it, and I felt like this was at a time when I was really into playing competitively, and I was just like not feeling it. Like I was watching standard and like I didn't really see the value in that. Not that I'm saying like if you play a different format and you watch standard, like I think that's totally cool. Just for myself, I just felt like I wasn't gaining anything, and I felt like it was just really boring. And so it was kind of like interesting that I was like on Facebook and I saw this one magic player. Her name is Dana. She's 7 years old. If you haven't read into the story, you totally need to. She's incredible. She's like this competitive player, and she, I don't know what she still plays, but I assume she still plays elves, which is awesome because like I was watching like her play and I was like, oh my god, like I used to play that deck and it was like super cool. And anyways, I got kind of like, it was cool because like I watched her game, like one of her games where she piloted elves, and it was like really interesting like to watch because I was like, damn, I was like, I haven't watched like magic in a really long time, and it got me thinking about it, and I was like, am I gonna like get back into like watching people? I don't really know. But anyways, the kind of point that I want to make with this is I did a really bad thing where I read the comments under the video, and a lot of them were really positive and a lot of them were not so positive. And one like comment that I felt like, one kind of like theme that I noticed amongst these comments, which I really shouldn't have done that to myself, but I did it anyway. I read them. It's dangerous. Is about how like, oh, she's like pretty okay of a player, but like she's only 7 years old, and like, you know, like making remarks around like her age and like her skill level and how like those two things seem to like coincide. And when I was playing at the Ixalan pre-release, when I did my video, which was on Tuesday, if you check that out, one of the teams I actually played were against like these like kids. I played against these like 9 or 10-year-olds, and like I feel like people totally write off children as not being good at this game or being jokes or being an easy win, and that's like such a terrible mindset, and people totally need to get out of that. And listen, I'm totally guilty of that. I will fully admit when I see a person, we make judgments about people whether we want to or not, and some of those judgments can be good and some of them can be not so good. So if you look at someone and say, oh, they're a woman, they're an easy win, it's definitely happened to me, I will totally say that. Oh, it's a kid, they probably don't know how to play. Yeah, okay, sure. But yeah, those things are like totally not healthy. And so like these kids that we were playing against, one of the kids was playing like a blue-red, kind of like an aggro, like control kind of like deck, and the other was playing like black-green, I think, and it was kind of, I don't really know, he didn't really play like many creatures, but I don't know, it was kind of like a lose life, I guess, kind of like themed deck. I didn't really know, I didn't really get the chance to see like that much of his deck. But anyways, I feel like we totally make impressions of people. Another major thing is like new people. So like if you see someone and like they'll tell you, like my first round opponents actually told me, they were like, yeah, like we're new like to the game and whatever, and like again, people make the assumptions that they're an easy win. I've lost to people before who are children. I've lost to females, I've lost to kids. Like the fact that we're just making these judgments that they're not good at magic is totally not fair. And someone made a really good comment on that post and was like, we should try to treat players as fairly and as we possibly can, even though again we have those prejudgments, which can be kind of hard to not do, because again I've made them too, and I'm totally guilty, and I'm admitting my faults that I've done the same thing. Because yeah, like I said, we were so close in that game, guys. That game was like super intense. We were at like 9 and they were at 8, and it was really crazy. And did they make some misplays? I mean, yeah, sure, like they made misplays, the kids that we played, and then the newer players that we played first really just straight up said they were like, yeah, like we're new, and you know, help them. I mean, we ended up helping them, and we like made their decks a little bit better, which was really cool. They did pretty well, like their the rest of their rounds, which was really sweet. So thinking about when I was watching her coverage, it's like there were a couple of like, I would say like obvious misplays that I was like, wait, like she should have played Collected Company, or she should have tapped that elf from response, like, you know, basic things. Also too, like I've played the deck, oh, and I thought of another point too, where like, you know, because I played the deck, so like I know how the deck was supposed to work. And there were like sometimes, but like as a viewer, like it's totally different being a viewer than like you're actually playing the game. We do this all the time, like I would get out of like my game when I played competitively, and people would be like, hey, why didn't you like do this? And I was like, dude, I like totally didn't see that line of play. I straight up, I just didn't even see that. And that happens, and that's okay. I mean, we make misplays all the time. It doesn't matter who we are, it doesn't matter our age, it doesn't matter our sex, like it doesn't matter any of those things. Another thing too that really frustrated me is, like, someone had commented that like Elves is an easy deck to pilot, and I got really mad at that because it was interesting. When I had went to GP Pittsburgh, that was the time that I was playing Elves, and it was interesting, like, we kind of made, like, this joke that, like, we would all, like, the group of people that I went with, we would all, like, switch decks, and we would all, like, be like, oh yeah, cool, I'll play this deck, and then someone else could play my elf build, and, like, one of my friends was like, Tracy, I don't know how to play elves at all, and that comment, like, really frustrated me because, like, I don't think it's fair to say that anyone's deck is easy to play. I don't really think there's, like, any sort of version of an easy deck. You're always gonna face instances where, like, there are really hard lines of play. And the thing with Elves is, you know, you have kind of, like, a general, like, idea, like, you know, turn one you get, like, Elvish Mystic or out. And then there's the one card that I'm totally blanking on right now what it's called, but it's, like, the 1 mana green elf, and then you tap 3 elves to add triple green to your pool. Like that. So like there can be like really tricky lines of play with that. Like when do you play like Elvish Archstory? When do you play Coco? Like there are definitely hard lines of play like there are with any deck. And I don't think it's fair to judge and to say, oh, your deck's easy. Like I did a whole video on like Burn because people think Burn's easy to play and it's like totally not. And that just like really makes me upset when people like have the thing to say, you know, oh, whatever. I mean, when like Twin was a thing too, I think like some people thought, oh, you just play like Pestermite and Splinter Twin. And I'm like, there are 60 cards in the deck. You're talking like 8 or 9, you know, cards in the entire deck. You know, that's like, you're only talking about a very small section where they run like burn spells and counter spells and all that sort of stuff. And a lot of times like Twin came out, the combo came out in like, you know, 2nd and 3rd round. And like, you know, the fact that people would be like, oh, that was an easy deck because you just play those 2 cards together. And I'm like, no. That is not how that works. So yeah, I don't think it's fair to point fingers and say anyone's deck is easy. Because I think that downgrades the deck to say, like, oh, anyone can, like, play that deck. And, like, that's just totally, like, not a cool mindset to, like, have that whole, like, negative thing of, ugh, like, anyone could play that deck. Like, if I handed you Elves, like, could you pilot the deck? Like, I don't know, maybe, like, you could. But, I mean, I wouldn't sit here and say, like, there are some versions of, like, decks that I see, like, I wouldn't know how to play. I would have to figure them out. You know, like learning Bloom Titan, that was like another language, like how to play that deck. That was like a difficult thing. It took me a bit to get that and to get like, to, you know, get my feet wet in that deck and like see how it plays out. So yeah, but yeah, guys, that is it. That was it for this real talk. Yeah, just something I wanted to get out in the open because this topic, like after I saw that, I was like super upset about that. I was like, I'm mad. And what do I do when I'm mad? I turn it into this. So thanks for watching. I will see you guys next week and I will see you later.